Yo, welcome back to another episode of Vass Reacts. We got the homie No Operator. How strong is Boomerang CP9? Now, I know this is the the cartoons we grew up with in like an anime villain group type form. I know he did Cartoon Network. I know he did Nickelodeon, and I'm just checking out this Boomerang one now. I'm interested to see where he go with this Boomerang one because I didn't see the pictures. And Boomerang group is stacking Toon Force like it's no tomorrow. But CP9, I don't know which anime they're from. I know Nickelodeon is that spotter from Bleach. I know Cartoon Network was the Kotskis. So, and I can see right there, that's Nick Jr. right there. I don't think he did that video yet. So, we're going to tap into this Boomerang one and see. See, this is the content I thrive. What if we put Nickelodeon in goddamn... What do we put the Nickelodeon characters as a spotter?
Art dedicated.
Wait.
So artist Darren.
Is they the Sins? Is they the... Hell no, they not the Sins. No, they not the Sins. They can't be the... They're the fucking Sins. They're the 7 deadly... this video gonna eat. This video gonna eat if you ever get to that.
Z created a bunch of awesome art dedicated
No,
to
they're not the Sins. They're not the Sins. They're not the Sins. I don't think they're the Sins.
Of the past put into different anime villain organizations.
Yeah, I seen this one he
we
did.
discussed the Disney Phantom Troop in detail.
I ain't see this one. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that one. I ain't see that one.
And ask the question, which cartoon group is stronger, them or the Boomerang CP9? Just like in the last 3 videos, we'll be briefly going over every individual.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch the Disney one,
as well as openly discussing their multiple actions and feats throughout their careers to determine their power levels. Hopefully, by the end of all this, we can know who exactly is the strongest Western animation anime villain organization out of the 4 we've introduced so far. And with this being part 4 of the series, I will not be going into detail about numerous different concepts like Toon Force. So besides anything new that comes up, if you aren't familiar with some of these terms, I highly suggest you check out the previous 3 videos to get acclimated. This video will cover the entire Boomerang CP9, but will this group of old school cartoon
I'm gonna watch this one and I'm gonna go back and watch the Disney one because I haven't seen that one yet.
legends be able to compare with the original
they from One
assassination driven CP9?
Oh, they from One Piece. See, I haven't watched One Piece. I didn't finish it. No, I know I remember them from early on in the episodes when they went to Water 7 had to deal with Aqua Laguna, but I didn't know they was called a CP9. See, that's how I know I didn't. I wasn't paying attention, okay?
Who at one point in time gave their headquarters, Enies Lobby, a reputation for being unconquerable. One of the first things that you're gonna notice is that for once, Verona Zoro has not felt it necessary to butt into a universe he has no business being in. However, unlike the other organizations, the Boomerang CP9 just might be one of the most tilted groups.
Yeah, this is Toon Force out the ass. This is literally Toon Force. You got Bugs Bunny
of all time, and not
Shaggy, Tom, Popeye.
Even need the extra buff from Zoro.
Yeah, it's Toon Force out the ass, bro.
Video, I think you'll see why Zoro deadass just might not have even made the cut. We do need to get.
Yeah, look at this. Fucking wacky racist, Pink Panther, Top Cat, Fred Flintstone, Woody Woodpecker, Pinky in the Brain, Smurfette, the Jetsons. Shaggy is the fucking leader. Bro, this is Toon Force out the ass, bro.
Through the beginning,
this is OP.
This is OP that means discussing why in the hell we've got Smurfette on the team. Now, if you're not familiar with the little blue people called Smurfs, you really aren't missing too much. But essentially,
yeah, she was on Boomerang.
Wood fairy gnome things that.
So, just for y'all watching, I'm gonna stop pausing after this. Yeah, Cartoon Network picked up the rights to Smurf a while ago, and then they put them on Boomerang. Then Nickelodeon brought the rights, and then, yeah.
Live peacefully in the forest. And the local wizard, Gargamel, just fucking hates that.
Gargamel?
And Smurfette was Gargamel's way of making them destroy themselves, because all Smurfs are genetically male. By using different magical components and creating Smurfette, she was born to turn all the blue people into incels until they ate themselves like an Ouroboros snake or a 4chan pole board. But, like, to be clear, she's still the size of a garden decoration, and considering her her and the entire Smurf village was almost wiped off the map in a simple ankle-high flood, I really don't see a scenario where she is a key player in the CP9. She's probably either there because they all felt bad for her, or she had to get away from Smurf society as fast as possible because all the Alpha Smurfs would not stop drawing green lines over each other's selfies to see who held frame better. I will be giving Smurfette the benefit of the doubt because, not for nothing, they girl bossed her the fuck up during these most recent Smurf movies, making her the kung fu master to all the other Smurfs who could even fight on par with Azrael the cat.
So they gave her a purpose in
pure magic and like not a real Smurf. Smurfette has been shown to absorb magical particles or energy and reflect it back onto her opponents. And technically speaking,
what Smurf is this? Ew! What Smurf movie is this? This is horrible. The Smurf 2? I haven't seen Smurf. I seen the first Smurf.
Her a thing or two about alchemy. It makes a lot of sense that some of these lower tier CP9 members are going to require the cannon feat of Rokushiki powers. Rokushiki is a technique that all CP9 members are required to master, said to give them strength comparable to 100 men. And especially when Smurfette's followed up by other roster fillers like Top Cat or Mutley from Wacky Races, you can see why this is necessary. Because besides running from the law and being the sometimes
Top Cat that nigga.
Incompetent
Top Cat that nigga. Y'all ain't
after coming
Top Cat that nigga. Y'all know nothing about Top Cat. Top Cat that nigga. I used to watch this show faithfully. I used to love Top Cat, bro.
Through his whole show, the nicest thing I can really say about Top Cat is that he's a smooth talker. Always coming up with the next get-rich-quick scheme and duping the elites of society to try and get ahead. Although
Top Cat,
he's
that
never
nigga.
quite actually succeeded in any of these heists. Top Cat's crafty enough to at least never get caught, something he had better hope he keeps up in the CP9, because I've watched bro get knocked unconscious by a home run baseball. He is not handling no pirate with a devil fruit. And without Mutley's owner, Dick Dastardly, the dog isn't much more either than a clueless animal that lacks direction. In the cartoon Wacky Races, the mastermind that comes up with all of the evil inventions is Dick Dastardly. Mutley is almost always just there for the ride as Dick's
crazy name, by the way. Crazy
Lackey
name.
being completely nonverbal, and at best, I've seen the dog twirl his tail around so fast he can make it act like a helicopter. So to make things a little bit more fair, even though Mutley isn't capable of building any new inventions or coming up with new strategies, at the very least, we'll let him come well prepared with all of the inventions Dick has already made for him, such as the Mean Machine, a race car that can cause mass destruction with its various assortments of giant drills, even cannons that launch missiles or explosive canisters, and if the battle goes underground, Mutley is able to use the SS Dirty Tracks, which has dug to the actual center of the Earth before and fired lasers that are known to melt down any known object. Mutley might not be smart enough to use all of these inventions at their full capacity. I'd say Mutley using some of these inventions without any know-how or supervision is more dangerous than if Dick was to use them correctly. And considering the dog's Toon Force gives him the durability to survive catastrophic explosions, it's safe to say whatever cataclysm Mutley accidentally strolls himself into, he's gonna be at least marked safe on Facebook from it. Which is why I say that if you really want characters like this defending Eni's lobby, you have to give them physical stat buffs like Rokushiki, or just intelligence in general so they can fight back. Because even whole-ass war veterans like Fred Flintstone, when left to their own devices, are essentially powerless in their base form. Fred is another character that sports, sure, a huge durability level, constantly surviving the prehistoric horrors of his time period, like being crushed by boulders or being hit full force by grown dinosaurs. And as a soldier that was in the Bedrock Wars, Fred definitely has no doubt taken the life of an enemy before.
It's a fucking Flintstone comic. Well, it's a fucking Flintstone comic. Where in the fuck is this? It's a and they look
tasting the lust of blood and becoming highly trained in multiple different styles of lethal combat and weaponry. And yeah, you heard me. I literally said weaponry. What? Is it that hard to believe these indigenous people were able to come up with things like modern warfare? They didn't just use big wooden clubs, you uneducated bigot. The Flintstones actually had prehistoric pistols and rifles that, instead of ammo, used rocks and pebbles for ammunition. But yeah, besides that Bedrock War street cred, and the fact that I know bro's got the worst possible bunions known to
have to
man
read
on
that.
those feet from dragging that car around all day? These first couple of Boomerang CP9 members are pretty disappointing, to say the least. All of them are taking up space on the roster as more liabilities than anything else. But remember when I said things are gonna start tilting in the other direction real fucking quick? Well, let me introduce you, ladies and gentlemen, to Ultra Instinct
Shaggy.
If you're unfamiliar with Ultra Instinct, which at this point there's been so many goddamn memes I would think you were living under a rock if you're not, it's a battle transformation set to rival and even surpass the gods of destruction in Dragon Ball's universe. By clearing one's mind of all thoughts and letting instinct guide their palms, a user of Ultra Instinct can dodge any and all attacks that come their way effortlessly. And just to be clear, the reason they're called gods of destruction is because on a good day for Barris, he might destroy a planet or two. On Barris's worst day, the whole fucking universe could be at stake. And just being in Ultra Instinct alone puts Shaggy higher on the totem pole than Barris, God of Destruction, or even Super Saiyan God Goku himself. Two characters who, when clashing punches, had the attack potency to obliterate the entire universe if they accidentally missed each other and stopped colliding at any point. So yes, before going any further in this video, we do indeed have to confirm that Shaggy Rogers, the stoner Rizlord himself, is fucking universal, baby. That's twice. But aside from Shaggy's new power-up, even in the Scooby-Doo verse, the legend of Ultra Instinct Shaggy can be heard whispered to children as cautionary bedtime tales, reminding young ones to never eat the last Scooby snack in the pack should Ultra Instinct Shaggy bust a cat in that ass. Shaggy has been able to effortlessly dodge multiple attacks from a group of violent bikers, or even scale a cliff by jumping from falling rock to rock, confirming this amazing strength has always lied dormant in the Chosen One. Shaggy has also once done battle before with the Black Samurai, an ancient warrior spirit that was said to shake the heavens and earth in his prime. And at this point, Shaggy was only fast enough to run on water or compete with the Mystery Machine. Now that he's an Ultra Instinct, Shaggy's speed should compare to the gods themselves, massively exceeding the speed of light. Combining this extreme speed with Shaggy's flexible body, somehow always able to twist or contort in inhuman ways to stealthily hide Shaggy behind any object or surface, it becomes ever more clear that Ultra Instinct Shaggy also has some level of control over the bounds of reality itself. Examples are when he thinks of food and it suddenly appears, or when he pulls wood and nails out of thin air so he can board up the doors and windows to protect himself. Any of these actions can be undone and rewound in seconds if Shaggy changes his mind, hinting at some possible time manipulation. Even if Ultra Instinct Shaggy was to get hit by some defiance of fate, his durability is stacked heavily with Toon Force like the rest of his allies. The one difference between all of those characters I talked about—
Oh, I said Shaggy will be the leader. It's Popeye. Popeye's the fucking leader. It's either Popeye or Bug's the leader. I'm giving it to Popeye.
Before and Shaggy now
Yeah,
is that
Popeye
not
the
only
leader.
can he take the pain, but he can also dish it out 10 times harder. Don't even get me started on the stat boost Shaggy gets from eating Scooby snacks.
When he put them
a trait that he
Percocets in
shares
them.
with another one of his CP9 members that also becomes much more dangerous once their favorite food gets brought into the equation. And speaking of Popeye, he is another Boomerang member
Popeye put
that
them Yerkies in him.
surprisingly reaches full-on universal to potential multi-dimensional levels of power. Except Popeye does not need any extra abilities from other animes to reach this level of strength. Give the Mad Lad some spinach and he's gonna embarrass any opponent you put in his way. In Darren's artwork, Popeye is making use of Gear 4, which is known to be a 30 to 40 times multiplier to your overall power level. But even before taking any of that into consideration, with just two things, his muscles and spinach, Popeye has been known to accomplish literally anything he's ever set his mind to. And I legitimately mean anything. After devouring spinach, any single wound, injury, no matter how lethal or severe, is immediately healed on Popeye's person. Popeye has literally returned from having his entire body reduced to nothingness, withstanding an entire universal shutdown and just telling the universe to go fuck itself afterwards. Meaning that even if the whole physical realm as a whole is wiped from existence, within that empty void of nothingness is just gonna be a Popeye that is super pissed off at whatever whatever cosmic entity
Whatever
made that
crazy
happen.
being
And
I
it's
had
not like
killed.
with all spinach removed from the universe, that just makes Popeye powerless. On multiple occasions, the sailor has just been shown to conjure cans of spinach out of nowhere, creating a constant cycle of life that just never ends in death. But his reality warping doesn't just end there. This is still the man that punched his nemesis Bluto so hard, not only did he fly him to a different continent, once he hit the ground, the force canonically shifted the entire Earth's axis. And yeah, it is weird when you think of Popeye as a dimension-busting character, but when you've got comics of Popeye literally fighting eldritch horrors from the 7th dimension, beating them in one punch, or reaching outside of the bounds of his universe to knock out his own animator, one truly opens up the more important question: why humanity is so hell-bent on creating terrifying horrors that are able to surpass all known comprehension. But yeah, thanks Darren, you just made a sailor that punches so hard actual star constellations crumble 30 to 40 times stronger. Was it worth it? I also bet going into this video, you would not have expected our next galaxy-busting to universe-level destroying CP9 member to be Judy fucking Jetson. The Jetsons' ordinary teenage daughter holds the power to potentially rock the galaxy. In the movie Rockin' with Judy Jetson, Judy meets her rock star idol Skyrocker, and together with him and the power of rock and roll, they're able to play a song called Rockin' Round the Galaxy, whose frequencies and melody are able to overpower and drown out a device called the Mental Flosser, which, when activated, was about to take control of the universe and banish all of music forever. So by sending her music's vibrations across the galaxy, and then some, not only did Judy Jetson save music as we know it, she put herself above a good 90% of the cartoon villain roster in one single movie. And she is not—
That's crazy. I never knew that. I never knew she had her own movie, bruh. And I never expected her to be up there. If he basing it off her having her own movie, I never expected her to be up there with Shaggy and Popeye. Judy Jetson. I will expect George Jetson at best, but not Judy. That's
the only
crazy.
secret galaxy level threat hiding in this—
My bad if I'm not yapping throughout the video. Like, I'm so interested in this. Like, I'm
Trojan
hella
horse
interested.
of a villain organization, because even random roster fills like Pinky and the Brain have been known to threaten whole planets with their different inventions or shenanigans. Now, unlike Mutley, who lacks his mastermind in Dick Dastardly's absence, both Pinky and the Brain are present in the CP9. Two genetically altered mice that plan to take over the world almost every single day they breathe. Brain is pretty self-explanatorily the genius of the two, while Pinky is usually more responsible for fucking their schemes up more than anything, and is frankly more there for Brain's moral support and overall mental health than really anything else. Besides simple headsets that let Brain see the future or clone armies, you must have missed the episode where the mouse made a device that brought inanimate objects to life and used it to animate the Earth, the entire planet itself, getting the world on his side, antagonizing and whispering words of treachery to turn it against his enemies. How do you actually beat animating the planet and getting it on your side as an ally? And that's not to underestimate Brain's sidekick Pinky either, as despite not being that smart, his overactive imagination and Toon Brain's cell thought process has sometimes led to some of the best inventions and ideas that Brain has had. Pinky is also the much more street smart of the two, able to handle more survival instinct based tasks or strategies, and Brain can even—
I'm surprised he didn't put the Animaniacs in here. I mean, I know they're not Boomerang. Well, no, they're Warner Brothers. But same time, you know.
maximize Pinky's effectiveness by turning him into a giant colossal kaiju monster that can obliterate whole cities. Not for nothing, I'm pretty sure that Pinky received telekinetic psychic powers from his side of the genetic alteration, but there's a running gag that anytime Brain notices it, Pinky immediately hides it. Now that I've said it, I cannot get the picture of Mob Psycho 100 Pinky out of my head, and now all of you have to see it too. If we were to add Pinky's kaiju form and possible psychic superpowers to Brain's crazy ideas, they could terrorize planets on an even grander scale, meaning they have the destructive potential, the means, and the intelligence to wipe out most threats that come their way, whether they're acting as a duo or even separate and solo their own talents. However, even with how much of a difference these last couple of Boomerang CP9 entries have made, I still haven't gotten to the actual tilt of this organization. No one could have ever possibly prepared the Disney fan—
I have to watch that one. I have to watch Star Marco. I remember this show. It was on Jetix. Poika. Yeah, it was Poika. Jake Long, Dipper and Mabel, Kim Possible, Kate Batowski, and Phineas and Ferb. I feel like they're the strongest. They're definitely the strongest. Together, they're the strongest. And Zoro in the back, of course.
Anthem Troop. No. No one could have readied any anime villain organization
I'm
for
gonna have to
what
watch
I'm
that
about to
video.
speak of.
All right, what
These
you about to
next
speak of?
members' power over dimensions, the physical planes of reality itself, may be unparalleled by any other entity entirely. These next 5 members will change the landscape of the entire series. Introducing the 3 mythological layers of the Boomerang CP9 Hell.
Getting intense.
The first layer of Hell
Tom
is
and
a
Jerry.
duo unlike any other, Tom and Jerry. As cartoon characters that have been shown surviving almost every single instance of pain or lethal intention possible, both Tom and Jerry have regenerated from mere vapor, piles of dust strewn about, have had their heads cut off, entire cities demolished in the wake of explosions that leave the entire surrounding area and everything in oblivion. There's literally never once been a hint of damage done to these characters that has remained permanent or lasted longer than a few minutes. And with this essential invincibility is the ability to split themselves into individual body parts that can all be controlled separately or just outright teleport themselves to different locations without a single bit of stamina drained. Tom and Jerry have dodged lightning bolts and laser beams of pure light, and when both training and in muscular shape, they were unbeatable in their verse as the 2 strongest beings alive. However, if Tom and Jerry really want to end their opponent as quickly as possible and take the fight seriously, their full power is astounding to behold. While Jerry has brought pictures to life or turned them into pocket dimensions,
I remember
to
this
demonstrate
episode.
his
I remember
dominion
this
over
episode.
reality,
I love
at
that
full
episode.
power, Tom was able to bring an entire palace to crumbling just by dancing, and Jerry still has access to a magic ring which allows him to stop, fast forward, or rewind time itself. In the Fast and Furry movie, Tom and Jerry brought literal ruin to all 7 continents and almost destroyed the planet beyond habitation, committing atrocities like splitting Australia in half or closing the Grand Canyon entirely. And all of this was just passive destruction and accidental collateral damage. Imagine what these 2 can do when putting their minds to it and working together. And if Tom and Jerry are just the surface, going a layer deeper would bring us to the second circle of Hell. And inside, we find Pink Panther
Woodpecker
and Woody the
Pink
Woodpecker.
Panther. Woody
And
Woodpecker.
this is where we get weird. Pink Panther is an organism that was once thought to be an ordinary adult-sized panther, but after much research, not only is it clear that this quote-unquote panther has been around for longer than humanity has, it's also apparent that whatever this entity is, it will survive even after all of humanity has disappeared. Unlike Tom and Jerry, the Pink Panther's control over the physical plane and Toon Force overrides most other characters that also hold that power, as the Pink Panther has displayed dominance over his own universe and others by transitioning his show's scenes at will, altering the show's locations, or even worse, showing complete control over other living beings' bodies, erasing them from existence should they no longer hold value to the Pink Panther. As one of the original forefathers of Toon Force, it's almost as if the Pink Panther's knowledge transcends all comprehension, the animal somehow always being 2 steps ahead of any other character he's ever interacted with, to the point of omniscience. The Pink Panther can always make the right call, move, or think of the best complex strategy to accomplish his goal. It's either that or supernatural luck is in play, always bending reality to benefit Pink Panther. And should anything in the planes of reality bother Pink Panther, he's been shown to just vacuum the whole entire universe up and just replace it like it was nothing. Never afraid to just reset the dimension and start from scratch, which honestly just means
That's
that
scary.
the Pink Panther is a Lovecraftian horror that might never even have to actually get in a fight with someone. And even worse, it seems he has control over all things that are the color pink, able to conjure himself out of or hide within any pink surface or object, and by dropping pink paint on trees or bushes, not only do they flourish and grow tall and wide, that pink influence spreads across the entire realm, making everything the Pink Panther's domain. And don't even get me fucking started on Woody the Woodpecker either. Basically, a great...
He said, don't even get me fucking started on this fucking woodpecker. Yeah, Woody's OP. Woody's OP as hell. If we looking real deep into it, Woody Woodpecker is one OP ass bird. Really.
Great old one. Not only has Woody the Woodpecker also been shown to predate humanity's history, the woodpecker has returned from even having his whole existence wiped from reality, meaning that as an organism, the concept of death has no meaning over Woody the Woodpecker.
At all.
And that's not just because Woody is like immortal or anything. It's more because he remains as a constant in any and all timelines. Not quite alive, not quite dead either. Woody has traveled through dimensions, time itself, encountered alternate versions of himself across different planes of reality. However, at no point does any of this cause a rip in the space-time continuum or change the timeline itself, making Woody almost like a Schrodinger's cat situation. As long as Woody is, he always will be. The woodpecker is always able to avoid danger, as if reality is subconsciously always changing to work towards Woody's benefit. But I wouldn't call this blind luck. Oh, no, no, no. Woody the Woodpecker is very aware of his power over reality, and we have seen him constantly wield it for himself on multiple occasions. Woody has conjured weapons or objects out of the ether alone, even transmutating his body into other animals for disguise, or even into things like a rocket ship to fly to the moon. However, the worst thing about Woody, and also Pink Panther, is how much it seems they truly enjoy breaking.
It's Bugs. Bugs is number one. Bugs Bunny is number one. Bugs Bunny is the leader. I had a feeling Bugs Bunny was going to be the leader. Bugs Bunny is the fucking leader.
Their victims down over time and dragging them into a painful insanity. Like when Woody is gaslighting Officer Dooley into signing a piece of paper for him, or convincing an actual psychologist that they are the one that needs therapeutic help. And it's just that kind of unrealistic godliness that brings us to our last and final Boomerang CP9
Bugs
member, because
fucking
who would have thought
Bunny
it could have gotten any fucking worse than that? The strongest member of the Boomerang CP9,
it's
the
Bugs
father
Bunny.
of Toon Force, Bugs Bunny. If someone finds a single thing in this video that Bugs Bunny can't do, I'll streak the naked mile and record it. Bugs Bunny's unrivaled level of Toon Force and multi-dimensional control will be studied for centuries to come. As a character whose intelligence and ability to strategize, as well as adapt to any and all phenomena they're met with, exceeds all known bounds of reality, it's safe to say that Bugs Bunny might actually be the smartest character in fiction. Bugs Bunny once modified Elmer Fudd's perception of reality itself, placing multiple green and red spotted dots in front of his eyes that slowly broke him down and disassociated him from the world entirely. Bugs was then able to conjure this mind-breaking illusion in the viewer themselves, his power passing the fourth wall effortlessly. Bugs once constructed an entire functional city with inhabitants and civilian infrastructure in seconds. However, the difference between Bugs and his cohorts is that while Pink Panther and Woody the Woodpecker just want to break their opponents down mentally, Bugs is willing to weave reality to create the worst possible personal hell for whoever he's deemed as his opponent that day. Bugs uses this versatility to become one of the most adaptable and well-learned beings in not just his dimension, but every dimension. There have been multiple occasions where Bugs has taught himself a new concept or power literally overnight, sometimes in the blink of an eye, such as when the rabbit dedicated himself to learning magic from a book and came out of the study session the best wizard in all the lands after one night. And by entering other cartoons or universes, Bugs can easily immerse themselves in any opponent's world or powers. All that being said, there is not a single cartoon alive that can compete or do the same thing to Bugs, as even when someone like Marvin the Martian devised a weapon that was specifically designed to break through Looney Tunes' immortality, the gun was able to properly kill every Looney Tune except for Bugs, who was only staggered by its effects. The only being that is a threat to Bugs Bunny would be his creator. And even then, the creator has never once beat Bugs in a fight, a grudge that has become an all-out multiple universe spanning war with no foreseeable end in sight. And that is everyone. The Boomerang CP9 is complete. Do you see what I mean now?
That was
how
beautiful.
He started off super weak and
that was
then
beautiful.
progressively got to some of the strongest characters in all of fiction.
I
think
love that
legitimately
ranking.
Every cartoon villain organization that we know about should be scared and very worried to ever encounter this group. But let me know what you guys think. Comment your favorite
that's the
Boomerang
original
member,
picture.
or if you think there's someone from another team that stands
I'm gonna
a
have
chance
to watch
against
the
three
Disney
layers
one.
of hell.
I'm gonna have to watch that
If you enjoyed
one.
this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe because I've got plenty more fun ideas like this coming in the future. Check out the last 3 parts if for some reason you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
I'm gonna have to check out that on the Disney one. Yeah, that was amazing. That was amazing. I love the ranking, the way how he ranked them. That's how they supposed to be ranked. Top 3 strongest: Woody Woodpecker, Pink Panther, and Bugs Bunny. I can see that possibility happening. That's how they were supposed to be ranked from the jump. Yeah, I can't wait till he do the rest of them. I feel like once he do the rest of them, this whole series is gonna get going. But I'm gonna check out this Disney one. I gotta check out this Disney one. But it's been No Operator. I love him for these type of videos. This is the type of content that's supposed to be on YouTube instead of some bullshit. Vass Reacts, like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Peace.